So
not faking it.
there's a lady who is on Twitter, and a few weeks back she picked up some traction. I don't think any Baylor fan had really heard of this person. There's some people that are pretty popular Twitter figures around the Baylor world. This sweet woman was not until she tweeted something pretty pressing at Dave Aranda, but instead it was at Coach Dave Arandall, who no longer coaches the Baylor Bears. He was in the running, just a second fiddle. It says, at Coach Dave Arandall, understand you probably do not read your tweets. Good start. But I have to say something. She's pressed. That game
Sometimes
last
I do
week,
that. Sometimes I do that, by the way.
I have to.
You just got to do it.
This is
after
the Oklahoma State game. That game was embarrassing, Patricia says. I understand we probably not going to be champions, but can you at least try?
Good question.
Yes, I am knowledgeable about football. At times, the team didn't know. Lots of
didn't know that. Wait, so I'm trying to follow the English here.
Right.
So the team didn't know that she is knowledgeable about football.
No, because Dave's first question.
No, that's fair. That's fair. They don't know her.
First question that Dave's going to have upon reading this is, does this lady, Patricia, know about football? So she very clearly.
He was typing it in the draft.
Very clearly makes it known she knows about football. So that kind of started some things. It got 5 quote tweets and some responses and folks saying that she's not knowledgeable about football. They're really coming after her. Someone says, why would you even think this, much less say it? They're great ones. Well, things die down for a bit. Now she keeps.
I'm curious to know if she's going to bust out her credentials anytime soon on why she is knowledgeable about football. Well, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, well, I have great news for you because she's back. That was October 8th. Our friend Patricia takes a long hiatus.
Okay, so if you're counting at home, that's a week after the Oklahoma State game.
This is
5 days before the next game. So
15 days ago this occurred. And I want to be clear too. I don't like to call people out on social media. I say stupid stuff on Twitter all the time. This happens pretty often. But this is a scenario that's just different for me. This was personal because of the attacks that are about to be taken on certain people. So today she reopens it with, at Coach Sean Bell. She ats the man and his family. From a fan in Waco for 20 years, my husband played the game and I am an avid watcher. Your dad is or was a coach. Do you think for us? Now, look, I want to say too, the first half of that, real simple. She's just tweeting at Sean Bell. You're a coach. My husband's a coach. I'm a fan. Your dad's a coach. Sure. Do you think for a second
we're all in the same circle? Yep.
That a coach would allow a QB to play after he made 2 interceptions, he overthrows, or too low? Just WH. Are we not flating drones? Question mark, ... And I think she's got a point.
Look, I mean, when you put it that way.
Yeah, it's convincing.
Well, I hadn't thought of it that way before.
Yep.
But, I mean, first off, I had to think back into my own personal record book today. I've never seen a quarterback continue to play after 2 interceptions. Never. And then I was thinking, well, maybe if a quarterback threw too high or too low, they would have played. But then I was like, no, I've never seen that either. So you were looking for the story of the game yesterday or Saturday. That's it. That's it right there. And I think someone needs to hold Sean Bell's feet to the fire here. Yeah. I really do. Has he answered this?
Well, Patricia is certainly standing up to be the one. She goes on a 4-tweet spree today that concludes in, at Coach Sean Bell. This is second to last. At the schedule. She's talking about the schedule now. She's got a really good point here that I want to bring up, and I think we should consider. Do we need to take a gamble? It would be a gamble and lose the rest of the games. Now, look,
you got me.
I get what you might be thinking at home is that sounds crazy, but the first overall pick still on the board.
Yeah.
Why not wipe the slate clean lose the rest of your games, pick it up next year. It basically worked in 2020. Let's do it again at Coach Sean Bell. You tell me why not.
I thought tastefully stripping was going to get you to lose your job on Locked On Baylor. That's not going to happen because someone is coming for it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
someone deserves it.
Well,
had we thought of that? No. I hadn't thought of that.
Well, look, your husband's not a coach. Neither is mine.
No, and I wouldn't even call myself an avid watcher, to be honest with you. We're doing this. I mean, peek behind the curtain. Sorry, we're doing this during an NFL football game.
I don't know football.
Could I be an avid watcher? I don't even know who's playing.
I don't know football. She finishes that tweet off.
I'd love to. I really wish we had an addendum to this tweet. Probably in her draft, she didn't even hit the button. Probably passed out in a bathtub somewhere of what the benefit is to losing the rest of the games. Can we get Ferentz's son or whoever the OC at Iowa is? Can we get that soundbite of what would be the benefits of that?
Yeah,
I'd love to know why.
We need
I'm willing to hear anybody out.
We need when they're always, we're gonna bring in Craig with an injury update. Craig, what do you see from New York? And they just pull the guy on the screen and it's done. That's an ACL. That's it. I don't know.
By the way, this is me on China Spring broadcast.
His career's over.
Look, I'm no doctor, but
that's the one.
I'd be surprised if he gets up and walks.
It's the worst I've ever seen. She finishes off with Shapen, Shapen, SHAPIN.
Like it's Shapen, like we're getting
Shapen, question mark.
Shaping up to do something. Yeah.
Another Brewer, period. He does not even thank,
to the broadcast.
All caps, he does not even thank his receivers for catching the ball. Team player? No way. He needs a serious attitude adjustment. Please play drones at least for next year. Look, Shapen, as a redshirt sophomore, this is last year of eligibility.
And I'm glad someone is finally has the cojones to say it.
Yes.
We're all thinking it.
You've got to let the kid play. He's not going to have any experience, and he has been bad. Also, how about this Shapen guy? What? I don't know
who he thinks he is.
Look, this is, again, I'm not supposed to say this, but just ass wipe. Doesn't even thank his receivers.
And look, I have been to the intramural fields with Drake Toll at quarterback. Every reception, that is a handshake and a thank you.
I bring flowers.
You have the thank you cards ready to go after the game. I love that about you.
You ever go to the doctor's office? They have little dum-dum suckers.
Yeah.
Whole stash in my van.
And Nissan. You got to get some windows in that van at some point. And I do love that you do that. But I got to say, every quarterback I've ever known has done that.
Right.
Everyone.
Except for one.
And it's appalling, dude. And I'm not going to lie to you. There are days where I am up at night.
Doesn't even thank his receivers.
Ghoulish sound in my head, that is like, Blake Shapen doesn't thank his receiver. I'm like, whoo, I get shooketh.
It's probably the guy that dropped off a Lover's Leap with his in the 1900s.
Probably. And I remember thinking it too. I remember exactly where I was. I was in the suite level at AT&T Stadium at the Big 12 championship last year when Blake Shapen had that perfect throw to Taekwon to make it 21-3. The backup quarterback in his second start, 21-3 over Oklahoma State in a game we were supposed to lose. And I was going crazy and I lost my morals for a second because I came down to earth a minute later and I said, he didn't thank Taekwon.
Nope.
He didn't do it.
Nope.
He didn't do it. And I got sick.
You ever see?
I missed the McVay play because I was throwing up.
I had a theory. Gavin Holmes drops a lot of footballs, right? What if it's because he doesn't feel appreciated?
That's a senior making a point, Drake. That's a guy who's been there, done that, played for a lot of quarterbacks. They all thanked him except this one.
Just boom, ball hits the hands. Why would I catch it? I know I won't get any thank you. Not even a look.
Sometimes it's good to be a martyr. Actions, they speak louder than words. And what Gavin Holmes is doing is brave.
Well, he's taking a stance. Someone had to.
I like
until Holmes. Patricia brought it all to our attention. Her last tweet here. And again, I hate calling people out, especially by name. And I'm like, these will be on the screen too, if you're listening on screens. But I can't. I can't, guys. This was too much for me not to bring to everyone's attention. because the last one, Thrones needs that playtime for next year. We need him now. He has it delivered every time he plays. Faster, taller, crisper, on point throwing. This is the best. This is the best part. Receivers seem to catch his throws easily. Every player needs to remember you can always be replaced. Anyone ever considered they easily catch his passes because he thanks his receivers, unlike others on the roster? Austin Novosad, if you're listening, you better thank your receivers day one.
Better get that ready. Those thank you cards. Look, I personally know I perform better for people who thank me. You know what I mean? Like at four-way stops, when someone yells out the window and thanks me, I'm not going to hit that person. I'm not going to shoot out their tires. I'm not going to do that. Not. Sometimes I've been known to do that in the past. I think it's worth noting. I took a deep dive into Poor Take Patricia's Twitter.
Yeah.
You're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this.
I can't wait.
Well, let me take you back to the not so distant year of 2019 and 2020. Mostly 2020.
Yes.
She was big, the conductor of the Jacob Zeno train.
No, she
Can
ran
you believe
the fan
that?
club.
Can you believe that? And look, there was a lot of people on that train. It wasn't that long ago. A lot of people on that train.
Yeah.
I don't think she likes the Charlie Brewer type of quarterback. And she's still in denial as Jacob Zeno leads a, bowlless UAB team. Still on that train. So get ready. Get ready, Sean Bell, because this is going to keep coming.
Yeah. Well, Sean
coming down the tracks.
Dave Aranda wouldn't respond, so now Sean's the one that has to take the brunt of this. I think her favorite tweet: anyone Baylor know the color? Anyone Baylor know? Anyone color at Baylor games? Anyone color at Baylor game is what it said.
Asking the important questions,
and I do every time. I do.
Yeah.
Last but not least,
she's more a fan. Let me just say this in my deep dive into her Twitter. She's more a fan of the rainbow that God delivered after the flood than the ones you see in June. I'm leaving it at that. I know. You're surprised.
Last but not least, arguably the best interaction that she's had was something she has yet to respond to. 2 hours prior to recording this, Between Two Bears, another great Baylor podcast, says, Patricia, we loved your takes. Would you like to come on the podcast and chat some football? No response.
I hate that they beat you to it, by the way.
That's Cameron Stewart. We are sponsored today on our show by Sweat Block. You big sweat guy? You ever sweat?
I'm a big sweat guy, dude. Let me tell you.
I've seen it.
I love blocking it.
Well, not anymore until Sweat Block. So Cam was able to fix his problem, or her, or mine, by sweat blocking. Sweat Block's created by a doctor who had his own excessive sweating problem. It is doctor created, doctor recommended. If you are someone you love experimenting with embarrassing sweat or odor, try Sweat Block. Save 20% with promo code LOCKEDON at sweatblock.com. Also available on Amazon. We have little to no time for Dave Aranda, but folks, Baylor beat Kansas. Dave, after those scathing tweets you had to deal with, what could you possibly say, and how could you possibly tell everyone it's nice to see them? See, Dave thanks the reporters. Shapen does not thank the receivers. Dave, take it away.
Hey, it's good to see you guys.